Hello, this is a video created by Matt Grilli, Jared Wood, and Daniel Barkon. We are doing the topic of First Amendment rights in schools, and we hope you have fun watching. Thank you. First Amendment in schools is controversial to some people. Some believe that there should be more speech or expression freedoms for students, while other people believe that restriction is the way to keep it because it prevents chaos from occurring. Which best describes your views on First Amendment rights in schools? 37% keep it restricted, 60% give students freedom, 5% doesn't affect me.
Good. How far may schools go in restricting students' speech in the interest of school safety?
Well, it really is about the appropriateness of what's being said for a school setting. What we have to do is make sure that the education of the students is not disrupted, and if there is an element of student speech that does disrupt the flow of the education for that student or others, then the school has a responsibility to make sure that it's handled appropriately. I would say, how far do they go? All of those things have to be considered situational, and it depends on the individual situation. But the baseline is whether or not an act of speech would disrupt the education.
Do you agree that free speech is too limited in schools? 12% strongly agreed, 73% agreed, 6% neutral, 7% disagreed, and 2% strongly disagreed.
May a teacher censor a student's artistic expression?
Yes, it's the same premise, that if this artistic expression is going to disrupt a class, if it's going to interrupt a lesson, if it's going to infringe on another person's rights or safety, if it's going to really create an inappropriate situation for the school, the teacher may. Teacher should and needs to. That's the nature of a public school, is that we have to be respectful of everyone and accepting of everyone.
I'll roll up, shorty, I'll roll up, I'll roll up. It's your anniversary, isn't it? And your man ain't acting right. So you packing your dummy gear luggage up, calling my cell phone, trying to catch a flight. You know one thing straight, I'll be there, girl, whenever you call me. When you at home, that's your man. Soon as you land, you say it's all me.
May schools limit the time, place, and manner of student expression?
I think so. Again, it has to do with keeping people safe. That's when I would limit it.
Students be able to distribute religious or political literature at school?
Sure. Again, if you're asking my opinion, it depends what it is. It depends when they're doing it. It depends how they're doing it. But again, I think if we were to say that students aren't allowed to engage in anything political anyway, we're teaching civics. What are we teaching? If we tell people they can't, let their political message be heard. Religion, I think, is a little more touchy. Although they're two things you never want to be accused of. As a teacher, anyway, you never want to be accused of trying to brainwash people's kids into being, politically one way or another, or religiously one way or another. But for the most part, as long as the literature in question is reasonable and is coming from a student, not coming from a teacher or an administrator, it's okay.
Hey, hey, teach me how to do it, hey. They be like, Smooth, what? Can you teach me how to Dougie? You know why? Cause all the girls love me, hey. All I need is a beat that's super bumpin', and for you to back it up and dump it, get it. Put your arms out front, lean side to side. They gon' be on you when they see you hit that Dougie ride. Ain't nobody.
What limits, if any, may school officials place on student expression that occurs off school grounds?
I think that's an area that's still gray, and it's still something we're figuring out, because frankly it's something that we didn't really, 15 years ago have to think about, because we didn't have the internet, not to the degree we do now. But it seems that more and more schools are having to get involved legally, because of what the courts are saying. Schools are having to get involved more and more with outside activities. If it happens on Facebook and it's 8 o'clock at night, it can be the school's business. So I'm afraid that, the line between school and home is becoming so blurred, and will continue to become so blurred, that the school's going to be responsible for what happens 24/7, which I don't think is fair, and I don't think is the way it should be, but it's not.
May students distribute religious or political literature at school?
That gets dicey. I would say that would be a real leap forward if we allowed people to speak about spiritual matters in school. But if you start distributing stuff, distributing information, it might be seen as proselytizing, meaning, Jared, you're going to say, I'm going to go to hell unless I get saved by Jesus, which is wrong. You have no right to do that. So I think that should be limited. But I think discussion, where we go wrong is that anytime you want to talk about religion, you're walking on eggs. People are like, oh, don't talk about religion. Why not? You could talk about it.